This never gets old. Well, good morning. I have 2 lines out this morning. I've got what we call the GCM rod. Short story, but I'll save it for later. And I'm running a 6-inch balsa scatter plug from Rapala on that line. We're running at exactly 2.0 miles an hour on the 1978 Johnson, and on my other line, which is hooked onto the what we call the musky masher or the broomstick. The broomstick right now has I think it's a 3/4 ounce or a 1 ounce jig head with a trailer hook on a enormous, basically it's a giant grub. So that's what I'm dragging today. And as you can see, there's fish, big ones, down in the 20-30 foot range. My Lowrance is actually making a new map as I go because I've got the live generation turned on. So I'm overlaying my continuous map. It's a pretty fantastic setup, and this is a really easy way to start the morning. This is that special moment once a day when the sun finally comes over the edge. Might as well get it on a video. Living up north here, you get these long days. You get these really early sunrises and then pretty super late sunsets, compared to my southern US friends who seem to have a couple of hours shorter every day in the summers. I certainly prefer the early morning and long days. That just never gets old. And then it's only a few minutes later that the sun finally warms up the water, and then the water seems to fog off or something of that nature. Somehow, like the top water evaporates, I guess it is, or something like that, all of a sudden. And then you get this line of clouds or fog, and it follows the river all the way down. It's this, you can kind of see the water fogging off a little bit. I'm not sure you can catch it on the video, but man, it's really cool. And this pattern just repeats itself day after day. I didn't really have any success with my trolling action there. I was kind of just driving on the GPS map because the fog got so thick, couldn't really see where I was going. So I pretty much gave up on that and headed north on the map, and I ended up in this bay here, and I started fishing some weed edges and stuff, and I landed myself this delicious piece of dinner. He's definitely thick. It's a really nice fish, and got an amazing super solid hook set on it. I like being able to get the larger fish actually, because I feel like there's so much mouth there on these largemouth, that especially when they're a bigger fish, that they swallow the entire bait, and so it seems to me that you get a more reliable hook set on them. And there's a lot of yap there. He's a pretty big fella, so that's good. I'm gonna turn him into some dinner for 2, I think, and that should be good. I want to show you what I caught him on. I'm using this Berkeley power bait. This is a 5-inch jerk shad in the white color. I prefer the Arkansas beige color. I do prefer it, and I think I get more strikes on the Arkansas beige color than I do on these, but they're very hard to get a hold of now, and so I've been using these white ones, and they work really good. You can weedless kind of a setup. I'm using a 3/32 ounce weighted hook. It's got the screw head here, and then I just pass it through the body at the back, and it's almost a weedless setup. But the weighted hook gives it just enough curl that it kind of stays upright, and you can jerk them slow or heavy, fast. You can use them for top water. You can use them for, you know, anything within, I'm thinking 3 or 4 feet of water. So this guy I actually caught in 3 feet of water, and there was only maybe 6 inches of clear water on top, and the rest of it was all very dense weed. And the strike that I got on this guy was instantaneous, and it was a one and done. So not much fight. He was 5 yards from the boat. I brought him in, stuck him in the net, done deal. So anyways, off for dinner. Part 2. So on the same setup, I guess I was on the Berkeley 5-inch white minnow again, and this time I managed this smallmouth here. This is a big fish for around here. This is a big stinking fish, 19 inches long. He's in the middle of eating a pretty friggin' big perch too. There's a little bit left sticking out, and yeah, he's thick, very thick, very healthy, no worms, looking fantastic, and that's going to be a very delicious dinner in a few minutes. So pretty happy about that. That's a great catch. So largemouth, you end up with all the beautiful colors. You get that kind of almost rainbowy color through the middle here, a little bit more of a white bottom. Smallmouth, of course, the jawbone is in front of the eye, the joint here on a smallmouth, and a largemouth is behind the eye. And so yeah, great fish, pretty happy about that. Again, I think the total water depth there was might have been 4 inches. Really shallow. It was right on the edge of the rocks on the end of one of these little islands here, so really simple, easy to catch. Didn't even see him, and then boom, just like that. Great day today on the water. I started, of course, right at dawn. Now it's midday, and give you a quick tour of our tiny fishing boat here. So this is a 1979 Canada-made Doral boat. It's 14 feet long, fiberglass. It has 3 inside glassed-in benches. I guess it would be 2 benches, and then these 2 tiny sections in the rear. And it's 78, powered by 1979 Johnson 20. And that's about it. I relined pretty much the way the whole boat is set up. I changed due to weight balance, so I'm typically there by myself. If someone's in the front, then that seems to be okay. I put the gas tank on this side, and then the heavy-duty batteries up here in the front, which runs the very old, I'm guessing 1980s or early 1990s vintage power drive unit from Minn Kota. Old school pedal. This is pretty much as old school as it gets, I think, when it comes to electronics. And a lot of my fishing gear here, and I'm really happy with the setup. It's really nice to get out on the water, and today we bagged 2 pretty large bass, so that ought to get us at least 4 pretty sizable plates of food. Great day on the water. Get out there.